Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for sticking with us. It's been a long day, but we are very fortunate to have joining us today Mohammad Jameel al-Ramahi, the CEO of Masdar, which hardly needs an introduction, especially here in Abu Dhabi. But of course, Masdar started nearly 2 decades ago as a bold bet on renewable energy by the Abu Dhabi government. They've come a long way since then, and we'll jump right into it. So, of course, the headline figure is 100 gigawatts by 2030 of renewable capacity. That's the target. Where are you now, and what are the challenges? What are the bottlenecks you're facing?
Well, thank you, Yusuf. I'm really excited to be here. I know it's the end of your full day activities here at the Reuters event in Abu Dhabi, so I'll try to make it as exciting as possible. And starting with the 100 gigawatt target, I think it's the right thing to do. So, you know, like you said, Yusuf, we've been established in 2006, so we've been in the business of renewable energy and sustainable development and clean tech for almost 2 decades. In fact, we will be celebrating our 20th anniversary next year. We'll invite all of you to that event, hopefully, here in Abu Dhabi. And it's been a long journey. Today, we've announced, obviously, in 2024, last year, we've announced a capacity of circa 52 gigawatts. So we are halfway there to the target of 100 gigawatt. And our growth have really accelerated since the beginning of 2023. And there is a reason why this acceleration happened. This acceleration happened because we welcomed 2 new shareholders to our founding shareholder. When we were established in 2006, Yusuf, we had 1 sole shareholder, which is Mubadala Investment Company. And in 2023, we welcomed 2 new shareholders, Taqa, of course, and ADNOC, Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, alongside Mubadala. So now I have 3 shareholders with new target, with new growth strategy, which allowed us as management to push forward the knowledge that we have gained and the competencies we have gained prior to the new shareholders joining and doubling down into our growth. We are active now in around 18 countries. Of course, we have developed renewable energy projects in more than 40 countries, but today we are active in 18 countries. We have deployed over the past 2 years between our own capital, vis-a-vis the shareholders' capital, project finance, and green bond that we have issued utilizing our own balance sheet. You are talking about $30 billion worth of capital that has been deployed in projects all over the world, which helped us basically expedite our growth towards our target of 100 gigawatt. And I'm confident that this target will be achieved. I know when we started and when we announced that target a couple of years ago, when the new shareholders came, a lot of people thought, wow, 100 gigawatt, including the management team and the shareholders. But I always said that we have built an extraordinary team. You know, we have built knowledge. We have built an extraordinary network. We have built an extraordinary partners from all over the world. And our ability to deliver this growth was not only based on capital, which is very important, obviously, but it is anchored by the competency and the team that we have at Masdar, and more importantly, the partnership that we have built over the past 20 years. Very important. You know, we work with EDF, we work with ONGI, we work with the likes of Iberdrola, RWE, so on and so forth. Of course, BP and Shell and the rest of the energy giants from all over the world.
Right. Do you have an expectation for how much capital will be deployed by 2030? between now and then?
Yeah.
What is it?
So I mean, we've deployed between capital and leverage. We have put in around 30 billion over the past 2 years, from 2023. Yeah, and we are talking about another, I would say, 20 billion US dollars to 25 billion US dollars.
Obviously, the speed at which Masdar has grown in the past couple of years is lost on nobody. You had a couple of really big acquisitions, Terragen in the US, Terna in Greece. Is there a shift towards, up and running established companies rather than building from scratch, which is, something you've also done extensively? Is there a shift there? Are you targeting more kind of established companies?
The only shift, as I've highlighted, is scale. So when we were established, our target was by 2030, our target was circa 20 gigawatts. Now our scale have shifted. So our strategy to go to market needs to change. And our strategy is tactical and strategic. It's not just we go and acquire something. It has to be well planned in a place that we want to acquire not only assets, okay? We are also acquiring platforms, like you have said, because we need boots on the ground to ensure that our portfolio grows and our assets are well managed. So adding on top of the competent team that we have had since the establishment, we've also added, I would say, around 400 new people. We call them Masdarians, part of the already established Masdarian group that we had here in Abu Dhabi and elsewhere in the neighboring countries. So
how many employees do you have?
Now we have around, with the operating and maintenance team all over the world, we have more than 1,000 employees.
So obviously the US, Europe,
yes,
are key markets for you. This region,
yes.
Let's drill down a bit into why those particular regions and if there are any others you'd like to talk about.
So let's start with our home base. We are headquartered in Abu Dhabi. So Abu Dhabi was our priority from day one. We are a national champion. We have established a new sector within our energy mix. And that was the vision of our leadership. So our leadership said, we cannot depend on fossil fuel, even though we are blessed with fossil fuel, and we need to diversify. So the diversification came from an energy strategy that was designed prior to the establishment of Masdar. And that energy strategy basically said, we need to diversify. We cannot depend just on gas, because we only had gas, 100% power generation out of gas. We need to diversify away from gas. And how do we do that? We do that by establishing Masdar. Let Masdar invest in something called renewables. That's 20 years ago. And we established Emirates Nuclear Company, which will invest and deploy also clean baseload nuclear power generation. And that was established prior to the establishment of Masdar of 2006. And then the government set a target of 7% renewable energy target by 2020. طبعا, when we came to 2020, people thought, we will never achieve that target. In fact, we closed 2020 with a renewable energy mix within our energy portfolio, circa around 12. So in fact, we doubled that capacity. Now, so as a national champion, your priority will always be your own home base, as you can imagine. But then we started pushing forward in establishing bridges and educating certain countries that is around us. One good example is the Kingdom of Jordan. The first wind project that was developed and built in the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan was developed by Masdar. And it's the largest wind farm until now. Okay?
I want to ask you particularly about the U.S. Given the current administration's
Yes.
Stance towards climate change and renewables.
Yes.
Are you finding a challenge to operate there?
So I will come to the US, Yusuf, because it's a very important market for us. But you mentioned Europe and the US and the Middle East. Right. But Masdar is a true leader. And again, we are a focused renewable energy company. We only do green. Okay, so we are the green champion. Okay, just to be clear. So the Middle East, we are a renewable energy leader in the Middle East, and the Middle East means the GCC. This event is about the Gulf, so we are a leader in the Gulf. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is one of the biggest markets. The United Arab Emirates is also one of the biggest markets, but also Oman, Kuwait, Qatar. They are all important. They are building their energy capacity and renewable energy capacity. And Europe is a very important market. Africa, we established the largest renewable energy platform alongside, of course, as you know, Al Mansour family and AFC, African Financial Corporation, and EBRD as well as a shareholder. Now Infinity Power, which we own 49% of that, is Africa's renewable energy champion. So we are also active in Africa. In Central Asia, we built literally the first scale renewable energy project. It was 100 megawatt in Uzbekistan. The first IPP in Uzbekistan. We did that. So we lead renewable energy. We open new markets, new horizons. We don't just, follow. Okay? We also create markets, which is very important. Today, Uzbekistan attracts so much capital, not into their only power system, across all of the infrastructure, which is great. Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan. We did the first project, renewable IPP in Azerbaijan. Armenia.
Are you
Georgia.
Still targeting those brand new projects?
No, of course. Greenfield development is part of our DNA. So talking about how do we grow? We grow by greenfield development. And we grow through M&A. And M&A is two parts. One is acquisition of a project. And B is an acquisition of a platform. And when I say a platform, I mean people with capabilities can develop greenfield. Ultimately, you go back to greenfield. Okay? And this is how you scale up. Tamam? Now, you want to go to the United States of America. The United States of America is a very important market. The US is the second largest renewable energy market after China. So you have China, renewable energy market. It's massive, it's large. And then you have the US. We have been in the United States of America since 2018, when we publicly announced our first entry to the United States. And since then, we have developed, currently in operation, around 5.5 gigawatt of renewable energy projects that already operates and generate green electrons, mainly in two different states, one in California, the other one in Texas. We have three key hubs. Our main hub office headquarters in Washington, D.C. as Masdar Americas. And then we have an office in New York, a hub, and an office in San Diego, California, which is our operational hub. And we have a pipeline of around 20 gigawatts. Okay? You are absolutely correct. So now what happens? Regulatory changes has a direct impact in anything that we do. So any business is sensitive to policy and regulatory change. Okay? Any business. And our business is aligned to that theory, correct?
How is it impacting your business?
I will come to it. So the system in the United States, kind of every country in the world is different than the other. The way they structure their business. And in the United States, there are several, let's say, policy changes which enabled the adoptions of renewable energy in particular. Okay? Such as tax equity structures. So tax equity structures is some form of what? Some form of financing. Okay? Here in the United Arab Emirates, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, our form of financing is non-recourse project finance. So I have a project that is $1 billion US, 80% of that is levered through non-recourse, long-term project finance structure, financed by commercial banks. I can go to the United States, I have $1 billion project, I go to the commercial bank, I cannot do the same thing. The structure there doesn't allow it. So what do? You have some sort of a tax equity structure which allow you to finance the project. Clear? Okay. So now the federal government decides we don't like this structure anymore. We would like to change it. Okay. The way I will fund and finance my future project will be different. Today, as we speak, developers like us and financiers who leads the tax equity, like JP Morgan, like Bank of America, okay, are already thinking how they can finance this project. I'll give you an example. If I'm in Texas, I have a wind farm that generates 1 gigawatt of capacity. And you are Microsoft. You have a data center next to me. And you, Microsoft, come to me and tell me, I'm willing to sign a power purchase agreement with you, Mr. Masdar. Okay. Why would the bank doesn't finance this? I have an off-taker willing to buy my electrons that I generate at a nice fixed price for 20 years.
So
the market, my point, I always say, I am a big believer in free market.
The market will adapt.
The market. I'm a capitalist, believer in the free, open market. The market will adjust itself. Policies and regulators, of course, we cannot live without regulations and policy makers and all of that. We, as business, we adjust.
But just to be
business
clear,
will adjust.
At the moment, you need to find off-takers in order to be able to finance.
The off-takers are there waiting in line. Don't worry about off-takers. I'm telling you. There is shortage of electrons. You go today at any session that talks about AI, energy nexus, they tell you the most important thing for my AI industry is your electrons. Who's going to provide electrons? Gas? Okay. Nuclear? Good luck. Yeah. If it takes a solar farm 3 years to build, nuclear power plant in the state of Texas or California, it will take 50 years to build. Okay? So where are you going to go? You're going to come to me. Right. Well, not to me personally, to our sector.
Right. I think we have some audience questions. We've actually addressed a couple of them. So I actually have one last question I want to ask you, which is Abu Dhabi has a crowded energy scene. Many different players, several of which are your shareholders. How do you navigate going after acquisition targets, for example, and making sure you don't compete with ADNOC, XRG, Mubadala Energy, or any other Taqa, or any other players in the Abu Dhabi energy scene?
Yusuf, I totally understand where this question will come from. As an outsider, you may look at Abu Dhabi and think there is lack of coordination. Or you think that we work in isolation.
There seems to be a lot of overlap.
This is the how people, I think, see. But the reality is totally different. Abu Dhabi is not only fully coordinated, we are fully aligned. And Masdar is a great example of this unity. When you have ADQ, Taqa, as a shareholder, you have ADNOC, which is also XRG, is a shareholder, and when you have Mubadala, one of our key sovereign wealth fund, as a shareholder, at a platform like Masdar, it tells you that when it comes to our sector, we are fully coordinated. So this assumption that there is no competition whatsoever, in the sense of...
Others have renewable mandates, though, as well.
Who? There is no renewable mandate in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi except through Masdar. And if we decide not to invest in something, then of course, and somebody else would like to invest, please, you go ahead and invest. But you need to appreciate that within Abu Dhabi Inc., okay, everything is well orchestrated and well coordinated. I can guarantee you this, at least from a Masdar perspective.
Mr. Mohammad, thank you so much for your time. I'm afraid we're out of time. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. And
thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you, Mohammed. You know, you said keep the energy up. You said you keep this energetic, and you did.